Now today in this video we are going to discuss the representation of an electrochemical cell. Now electrochemical cell or the galvanic cell has two electrodes, anode and cathode, and the electrolytic solution containing these two electrodes are known as half cells. Okay, we have seen that on the left hand side zinc was dipped in zinc sulfate, on the right hand side copper was dipped in copper sulfate. So two half cells are there. Left side oxidation occurs, right side reduction occurs. When these two half cells are connected together, we get a complete cell. Now, how to represent the electrochemical cell on paper? We can have different types of electrochemical cells by taking different anode and cathode. So, how to represent in the short form on paper? So, what are the conventions? So, the following conventions we use in representing the electrochemical cell on paper, and the convention is first we write about anode, then anodic electrolyte. Now anodic electrolyte means the solution in which your anode is dipped. Then two parallel lines like this. Now this indicates salt bridge. Then cathodic electrolyte, and finally cathode. So this is the representation of an electrochemical cell. Okay, now here we can put minus sign also for anode. This is in addition. We can put plus sign here. Now the direction of electron is from anode to cathode. So this is the direction of electron, and from here to here it will be the direction of electric current. So this is how we can represent any electrochemical cell on paper. Okay, now let's represent our zinc copper cell on paper. Now in zinc copper cell, what is our anode? It is zinc. Now the solution is ZnSO4. Now in the bracket we can put concentration also. Suppose the concentration of zinc sulfate is 1 m, that is 1 molarity. Whatever concentration is there, that you can put in the bracket. Now salt bridge, then cathodic solution is copper sulfate. Again we'll put the concentration, then copper. Okay, so this is my anode, this is my cathode. So this is the representation of our zinc copper cell. Now we can further simplify it. Now we have seen that in the cell reaction, Zn is changing to Zn2 plus. Now remember the half reactions. So what was the half reaction taking place in the zinc copper cell? Now what was the oxidation half reaction? Zn gives Zn2 plus plus 2 electron. What was the reduction half reaction? Okay, so we can further simplify this representation like this. Okay, means this cell representation also gives us the knowledge of reaction taking place inside the cell. Zn is changing to Zn2 plus and Cu2 plus is changing to Cu. Okay, so from the cell representation, so if I know the cell representation, I can write the oxidation half reaction, I can write the reduction half reaction, and finally I can write the full cell reaction. Now what will be the full cell reaction here in this case? So first Zn is changing to Zn2 plus. Now first copper 2 plus, it is changing to copper. So this is my entire cell reaction. Now let's take one more example. Suppose this is the representation which is given to us, that is Cu oblique Cu2 plus salt bridge Ag plus oblique Ag. Now from this representation, how many things we can determine? So first, what is our anode? So I know that anode is always on the left hand side. Okay, so anode is copper. Now what is my cathode? I know that cathode is always on the right hand side, so it is silver. Now oxidation half reaction. Now which reaction is taking place at the anode? Okay, now simply see, Cu is changing to Cu2 plus. So I will write here Definitely 2 electrons we have to write. This is solid, this is aqueous. Okay. Now, what is the reduction half reaction? Ag plus is changing to Ag. Okay. So, follow the sequence like this. But we have to balance it further because in the oxidation 2 electrons are lost here, and in the reduction also the number of electrons should be same. So I will write 2 here. Okay, then I will write 2 here. And how many electrons should I write here? 2 electrons. Now the number of electrons are balanced. We can cut these electrons. Okay, so this is oxidation half reaction, this is reduction half reaction. Now add these two half reactions. So what is the final cell reaction? Now Cu, electrons and electrons will be cancelled, plus twice Ag plus gives Cu2 plus twice Ag. So this is my overall cell reaction. So if representation is given to us, we can find out the cell reaction. Likewise, sometimes this reaction will be given to us, and then also we can write the representation. Now the next term that we are going to discuss is electrode potential. The symbol is E and the unit is volt. Now what is the meaning of electrode potential? First of all, what is the meaning of electrode? Okay, electrode is the metal rod on which the oxidation and reduction occurs. So electrode is anode and cathode. These are the two metal rods which are dipped in the solutions of their salt, and at one place oxidation occurs and at another place reduction occurs. Okay, so this is electrode. Now we have seen that when zinc and copper are connected, suppose this is zinc and this is copper. Okay, and we have learnt one activity series in 10th class also, in 11th class also it was there, that when two different metals are connected together, the metal which is on the top side of activity series, okay, it is more reactive, and that metal will be oxidized. So when zinc and copper are connected, zinc is on higher place in the activity series. So zinc has the tendency to get oxidized, and we have seen that Zn changes to Zn2 plus and it loses 2 electrons. Now these 2 electrons come here. Now here these 2 electrons are accepted by copper. Okay, it means zinc has the tendency to lose electron and copper has the tendency to gain electron when these two are connected together. Likewise, when we connect copper and silver together, okay, now copper lies up in the activity series, so it is more reactive. So here copper will be oxidized. Okay, now copper has the tendency to lose electron and silver has the tendency to gain electron. Okay, so it means that when we connect to different elements or metals, one has tendency to get oxidized and another has tendency to get reduced. The measure of this tendency is known as electrode potential. So we can define it. So what is electrode potential? It is the tendency of an electrode in the half cell. Half cell means respective beakers, either to lose or to gain electron. Okay, so this tendency, this capacity is known as electrode potential. Now this electrode potential can be of two types. Okay, the first is oxidation potential and the second is reduction potential. Okay, now oxidation potential means tendency to lose electron, and reduction potential means tendency to gain electron. So if the element has tendency to get oxidized, that is, it has tendency to lose electron, we'll calculate its oxidation potential. For example, zinc, we calculate oxidation potential for zinc, and likewise if the element has tendency to get reduced, that is gain electron, we calculate reduction potential for that element. Okay, so oxidation potential and reduction potential, there are two types of electrode potential. Now sometimes the element has oxidation potential. For example, we take copper. Sometimes copper has tendency to lose electron, Sometimes copper has tendency to gain electron. It depends on the other element with which it is connected. Okay, so for a single element, sometimes we have oxidation potential and sometimes we have reduction potentials. So what happens? These two potentials are equal. Okay, for example, I can write here. Suppose for copper, the example I am taking is, suppose if I write this. Okay, now copper has tendency to lose 2 electrons. Okay, so here I will calculate oxidation potential for copper. And suppose if I write this, now copper 2 plus has, copper has tendency to gain 2 electron. So here I will calculate reduction potential. It means we can conclude one thing, that oxidation potential and reduction potential for a particular metal or particular element are equal in magnitude. Okay, so oxidation potential and reduction potential for a particular metal are always equal in magnitude. Then how to differentiate? Okay, then how to differentiate? But they have opposite sign. Okay, because here we calculate the value, we have a mathematical value here, so we put some sign. Okay, for example, for oxidation potential, if I am using plus, then for reduction I will be using minus, or vice versa. So oxidation potential and reduction potentials are always equal in magnitude for a particular element. It will never happen that an element is losing 2 electrons and gaining 1 only. No. But in order to differentiate, we use opposite sign. So nowadays what is done? Now we know that for a particular element these two potentials are equal. So what we do, instead of using the two terms, we use only single term. So according to latest conventions which we are using in electrochemistry, only reduction potentials are considered. Okay, only reduction potentials are considered. So we measure only reduction potentials. Okay, now suppose an element is having higher reduction potential, then its oxidation potential will be very low. Okay, yeah, we can say this thing that suppose reduction potential is more, then that element has more tendency to get reduced. If the reduction potential is less, then that element has more tendency to get oxidized. Okay, so we learned what we learned. What is electrode potential? Tendency to lose or to gain electron. How many types are there? 2, oxidation and reduction. The oxidation and reduction potentials for a particular element are equal in magnitude. In order to differentiate, we put opposite sign before them. Okay, now according to latest conventions, we use only reduction potentials. So what is the conclusion? So the electrode having higher reduction potential will have more tendency to get reduced, so it will act as cathode. And the electrode which has lower reduction potential, now reduction potential is less, means the tendency to get reduced is less, so it will be having more tendency to get oxidized, so it will act as anode. So if reduction potentials are given to us, we can find out that which is our anode and which is our cathode. So nowadays only reduction potential values are given to us. We know the reduction potential values of almost all the elements. Okay, now if 2 elements if I give you, then the element having higher reduction potential you will make as cathode, and the lower reduction potential you will make as anode. Okay, now one example I am taking here. Now first of all, how to represent this electrode potential, means symbolically how to represent it. So E is the symbol for electrode potential. Now in the bracket, okay, now what we use the element for which we are finding out. Suppose I want to write the electrode potential or the reduction potential for zinc. So I will write like this. This is the reduction reaction. Okay, this is the reduction reaction. Okay, so in the bracket I mentioned like this so that it is clear to us that this potential is reduction potential. So E indicates electrode potential and this is reduction. So this is the symbol for your reduction potential. Likewise for copper, if I want to write, then I will be writing like this. So in the bracket we mention like this. Okay, and this whatever we are mentioning indicates reduction. Okay, suppose the reduction potential for zinc is minus 0.76 volt. Suppose the reduction potential for copper is this. These are the exact values. Now which is having higher value? Definitely copper. So copper was our cathode. Remember that zinc copper cell, and zinc was our anode. So if two reduction potentials are given to us, we can make our own electrochemical cell. Now the next topic that we have to discuss is cell potential, or the electromotive force, that is EMF of a cell. Now you must be familiar with this term in physics. You must have learned about EMF or the potential difference. Okay, now we know that. Now again consider that zinc copper cell. Okay, again and again we'll be taking that example only. Okay, so this was the voltmeter, this is my zinc, this is my copper. Now we know that electrons flow from here to here, and there is the flow of current from copper to zinc. So here current flows, and there is deflection in your voltmeter. Okay, now we know that two different half cells are there. Zinc is having tendency to get oxidized, so it will lose electron. Copper is having tendency to get reduced, so it will gain electron. Okay, now since two different tendencies are there, so there is a potential difference which is set up between the two electrodes. Okay, so definitely copper is at higher potential and zinc is at lower potential, because current always flows from higher potential to lower potential. This potential difference between the two electrodes in the electrochemical cell is known as cell potential. So how we can define the potential difference between the two electrodes in an electrochemical cell when no current flows through the circuit is called EMF of cell. Okay, so this is how we can find out the EMF. Means when the circuit is not closed, it is open circuit. So potential difference between the two rods is known as EMF of cell. Now how to find out the EMF of cell? So we have in the formula. Now it is represented by the symbol E cell. Okay, this E cell is potential of cathode, means cathode is at higher potential minus potential of anode. Okay, so this is a way to find out your EMF or cell potential, higher potential minus lower potential, and this E cell should always be positive. If it is coming negative or if it is coming zero, then no current will flow in the circuit. Or we can also say that what is EMF of cell? Since whatever potential we are calculating is reduction potential, so we can write reduction potential of cathode minus reduction potential of anode.